Get engines, start your engines. There's D8, source code, and a server. Connect at mercury.picoCTF.net. A good foundation may be helpful later. Make sure your shellcode works for the situation. Okay, so what we have here is the server, and the server is going to take in a file and then run it through D8, which is a JavaScript interpreter. So you ask for the size of the file, you get the file, then it runs it through D8. And so we can connect up and see that go. So netcat mercury picoctf.net 11433. So it's going to ask me for a size, and then we get a script. Then it runs the script, gives me this error, and there you have it. All right, so D8 is a giant thing. They've given us the source code for D8, but they've put in a patch. And so what that patch does is it creates this function here, which is interesting, called assemble engine. And so assemble engine maps some memory, loads an array, so it's supposed to be passed a JavaScript array, walks through that thing, and calls that as a function. So it basically just takes an array and then calls it. Now the interesting thing here to note is that we're taking a double, we're converting it to a uint64. So presumably the array that it wants is going to be an array of doubles, so 64-bit floating point values. Okay, so now what we're going to need is we're going to need shellcode. And to get shellcode, I'm just going to try to create shellcode that catsflag.txt. These nice people, phocean, created a Docker container for me. This Docker container has the Metasploit framework, and the Metasploit framework is going to allow me to create my own custom shellcode. So here's my command. I've basically downloaded this, so we'll exit out of here so you can see that again. So I did this Docker pull of phocean msf, and I did the Docker run command I got from the website. So this is going to run that Docker container containing Metasploit. It'll take a little while to warm up here. And now I'm in a Metasploit prompt. So this msfvenom saying I'm going to take a C, I want the output to be in C, I want a Linux 64-bit exec and 64-bit platform Linux, and I just want a catflag.txt. So I run that, and it gives me these bytes here. So these bytes are my payload. So now what I'm going to do is I took that payload, I added a couple nops to it to make it a multiple of 8 bytes long. So it was 54 bytes long, I made it up to 56 bytes long. I just copied these bytes here into this JavaScript file. I'm then going to go through, and using these array buffers allows me to view 8 uint8s as a float 64. So I just copy the bytes into this uint8 array. Once I have 8 of them in there, so mod 8, I'm at 7, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I'm going to push a float 64 to payload F. Then I call assemble engine with payload F. So I have 553 bytes in this solve script. And I netcat to Mercury on this port. I said I had 553 bytes. I provide my script, and it runs it, and here's my flag, picoCTF vroom vroom. And there we go.